Today's topic is preparedness, because preparedness isn't just for those crazy preppers. Let's talk about it. So preparedness is really important to me. I've gone through many times in my life when we've had to have a supply of things on hand, and we all do in every scenario. And this can sometimes be problematic because if you get to be like my husband's and my grandparents, where they hoarded everything because they lived through the Great Depression, that can be problematic if you're holding on to everything. However, on the other extreme, if you don't hold on to anything, then you will have a shortage of the things that you need when you need it. So let's talk a little bit about preparedness. I like the Boy Scout motto, which is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yeah. And this could be as simple as, in Canada, it gets freakishly cold in the winter. So if we go out on the road, I always have a toque and mitts and scarf and my winter boots in the winter, because minus 40, minus 30, if you have a breakdown or something and you have to walk or be stuck out in the cold for a long time, you will get frostbite. You can lose limbs, you can die. It's not a thing to mess around with. And it's really easy to just think, I have my warm vehicle. I'll be on the bus. Nothing's going to happen. But buses break down, vehicles break down, crashes happen. If we don't plan in advance how we're going to mitigate those things, we are guaranteeing that we will have a bad outcome if those things do happen. So preparedness is just an everyday basic need that we should be implementing. Now, in the greater scheme, or a larger topic, is preparedness for big life events. So I grew up pretty middle class, and we were always able to go out to eat and do things. So it was somewhat surprising to me that through my married life, we've had several times where we did not have the income to be able to do things, even like going out to get groceries. The first time was when we were young and married, and my husband was doing a seed cleaning job, and it was basically a small business, self-employed, doing the seed cleaning, and he wouldn't get paid for a whole year because, farmers just don't get around to it, or they get paid after they sell their seed. So it was pretty stressful when you don't have income for a year. I remember being able to buy only milk, maybe some lettuce, and margarine during the winter, because that's all we could afford to buy. Luckily, I had a food storage that we were able to grow our own things and preserve them, and during the good times when we had an income, buy things and store them, such as pasta and grains and canned fruit, I suppose, things like that. A few years later, my husband again lost his job, and we went for about 6 months without an income. And again, we lived off of our food storage. And then fast forward many years, during the Great Big C in 2020, he lost his job again through a big downsizing, and we had no income for a year. Employment insurance did cover that time, but it didn't cover much. And again, we had to live off of food storage. So in those scenarios, food storage was a lifesaver for us. We didn't have to go to, food banks. And not that that's a bad thing, but food banks are very depleted. There were so many people, particularly during the Big C, that there wasn't enough for it to go around. And I also know, because I have worked at a food bank before, doing the call-in bit, and I know that you're only supposed to get a food order once every 2 weeks, I believe. And, they try and give you things that will suit your diet, but it's a guessing by golly. You're never sure what you're going to get. And it may not be things that you're wanting. So it really is best if you can provide for yourself. And then if other people are needing help, say family members or close friends, then you are able to help them. Whereas if you have nothing in your store, there's nothing to give. So our food storage largely is composed of dried fruits and vegetables. I was going to say grains, but they're already dried. So grains such as wheat is a big one, flour, sugar, and I also have dried corn and potatoes, starches like that lots of people normally don't put up. And then, of course, it's good to have some, if you eat those things, meat and eggs and milk and cheese and oils. Not necessarily that you need all of those things, but they're nice to have if you eat them. But they are also sources of calories, because in a situation where you don't have maybe enough food to eat, any sort of calories you can get will be greatly appreciated and used. So, and I just want to make a note on that. If you're storing oils, please, I would say, healthy oils. Use healthy oils, ones that are not processed heavily. So that would be olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. Those would be good ones. And of course, the rendered fats from animals. So that could be tallow, lard, those types of things. Duck fat is a good one. These are the things that people have used for thousands of years, and they will get you through hard times just as they got our ancestors through hard times. Because our ancestors didn't have a grocery store that they could go to and just pick up whatever they wanted. And they didn't have food banks. They had communities, yes, but when a whole community goes through a lack of food, again, they can't rely on just their community. They have to rely on themselves as well. Another thing to think about is emergencies can happen. So emergency health-wise or emergency environmental-wise, so storms or fires. Last year we had raging fires about an hour from us, and so we had to be prepared in order to get up and leave if we had to, if it got closer. Those things can happen at any time, and we won't have time to run around and grab everything right before we have to leave, or if we're sick or something happens. We need to prepare in advance, and that could be making some sacrifices in advance. So by sacrifices, I mean choosing to prepare by doing the things that will help us to prepare, and by choosing to not do certain things that will take away our ability to prepare. So that could be, some sacrifices might include eating out, buying coffee from coffee shops, going on vacation, buying the latest fashions, getting our hair dyed, getting our nails done or our eyelashes, new vehicles, big houses, gadgets, going out to the movies, relaxation. And these all things could feel like sacrifices now, but you'll have peace of mind because you know that you'll be able to put away the things that you need to prepare for times when times are tough. And it may seem like a sacrifice, but there are always things that you can replace those with. So instead of replacing going to the movies with family, You could have a game night with family where you're playing a card game or a board game and create those memories in different ways. It could also mean choosing to stock up on food, fuel, money, clothes, footwear, books and information, medications, appliances, vacation days, and then different ways of preserving food. So dehydrators and freezers and fridges, canners, canning jars, and the means of cooking foods. And that could include a wood stove or perhaps a sun oven. And there's also, what are they called? The hay ovens. Insulated cooker ovens. Where you bring it up to heat and you boil your pot for 10 minutes or so, and then you put it into this insulated container that holds your food hot, and it cooks the food from the retained heat. Okay. Also, being prepared by having the tools and things that you need in order to fix and build and provide for yourselves. So that could be having an axe or a saw to chop wood, or having a grain grinder in order to grind the grains to make your flour for your bread. Hi, did you know I wrote a cookbook? It's called Delicious, Cheap, Healthy, Whole Grains, Beans, and Lentils, Staples for Budget-Friendly Meals. In it, you'll find recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, snacks, and staples, all the good stuff. And it's available on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Okay, back to the video. So choosing to prepare gives us the strength we need mentally, physically, and emotionally, and the resources we need in order to get through those hard times. So prepping isn't just for preppers. Preparation is for every facet of everyone's lives, because we need to be able to put our best foot forward and have the resources emotionally, physically, and mentally to get through our tough times, no matter what they are. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about that right now. Hope that helps or gives you some ideas, and we'll talk to you later. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, help a girl out. Thanks.